What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, I guess, I mean, a little weird, but that's alright. It's the name of the band. Making their debut on the channel tonight. We have Mamamoo. Yes, indeed. How about that? Mamamoo making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Glenn, and Glenn wanted to see me react to this song by Mamamoo called Immortal Songs Medley. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Army Ali Moo, okay? And the video has 424,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Mamamoo Immortal Songs Medley. Cool. Yikes. 11:02. Oh boy. All right, well, look, you guys know how I feel about long videos and long songs. If it's engaging, if it's entertaining, if I'm having a good time with it, if the song's well written, well constructed, if it's well arranged, if I'm having a good time with this, it has absolutely nothing to worry about. On the flip side, if it's not well constructed, if it's not well arranged, if it's not well written, if I'm bored, it's not entertaining, this is not a good time, I'm going to absolutely tear it to shreds. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
산을 넘고 물을 건너 고향 찾아서 너 보고 찾아왔네 두 배나 삼고 돌아지 꽃피는 그날 맹서를 걸고 떠났지 너무 늦진 않았겠지 변함없는 너의 모습 조금 맘이 놓여 걱정했어 달라진 내 모습 못 알아볼까봐 살아갈 이유가 느껴져 네 품에 안겨 잠들 때면 곁에 있는데도 그리워지네 더 돌아지 꽃피는 그날 맹서를 걸고 떠났지 산딸기 물에 흘러 떠나가도 두 번 다시 자양에 아니 가련다 불빛이 불며 노래하면서 너와 살련다 소녀의 사랑 이야기 겨울 지나 봄이 오듯 다가와 미소 짓네 손을 뻗으며 닿을 거리에 그대가 있는데 그대는 날 모른 척해 You're my everything 나만의 욕심인가 그대와 손잡고 팔짱 끼고 걸으며 단둘이 밥 먹는 일 내가 바라는 건 소소한 일상 이것마저도 할 수 없단 열시에 내가 무너져요 어쩌면 좋을까요 를 띄워봐도 마음은 슬퍼져요 사랑에 빠진 나를 건질 수 없나요 내 인생의 반은 그대에게 있어요 그 나머지도 나의 것은 아니죠 그대를 그리워하며 살아야 하니까
I'm not sure what to make of this yet. I'm not sold either way yet. Like the first, I know. Okay, I understand this is a medley, so I think we're into the second song now. The first part, the first like minute and a half, I wasn't really feeling that one a whole lot. But ever since the band kicked in, it's gotten interesting. Hearing a lot more happening within the vocals. I mean, don't get me wrong, the first minute and a half, the vocals were nice. They were pretty. Nothing I would say all that impressive about them. But ever since the band kicked in, their vocal ability is being showcased far more as far as what they're capable of and their abilities. In particular, harmonization. I felt my eyebrows go up when they hit that 4-part harmony. I was like, oh, out of nowhere. No setup. Just coming in dry. Boom, with that 4-part harmony. Not easy to do. You got to have your note in your head ready to go. And if you're even the slightest bit off, you're going to throw the entire harmonization off. So that's hard. That is not easy to do with no lead in. So good on them for being able to knock that out of the park. Their 2-part harmonies sound really good. The 3-part harmonies sound really good. But I gotta say, when they did that 4-part harmony, that impressed me, especially coming from a dead stop. As far as the song itself goes, it sounds good. The arrangement sounds good. Very reminiscent of like 70s soul music. Really nice. I like what I'm hearing. Instrumentally, kind of reminds me of like Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Commodores a little bit, Tower of Power, obviously up in that mix with some of their better known ballads. You're Still a Young Man. Love that song. When I talk about, there's like maybe 10 songs, 10 ballads that I actually enjoy listening to. You're Still a Young Man is up there on that list. I guarantee you it is. Kind of having Tower of Power shades for sure with the arrangement, with the horns and with the rhythm section, guitar, bass, drums, keyboards. Yeah, I mean I'm digging what's happening there for sure. Visually, nothing's really happening. I mean the ladies are just standing in their spots, so not a whole lot visually to talk about. So anyway, let's get back into this and let's see where this goes.
그날이 그리워 울려 터지는 속삭임 그때가 그리워 두 발길 따라 걷는 소나기 난까지 그날이 그리워 그때가 그리워 오늘 같은 날씨 바람 부는 저들길 끝에는
Oh, we got a nice little laid back shuffle feel now.
있지 굽이굽이 산길 걷다 보면 한 발 두 발 한숨만 나오네 너와 등불은 하나 산포로 가거든 정든니 소식 좀 전해주렴 나도 따라 산포로 간다고 둥구름 하나 산포로 가거든 정든니 소식 좀 전해주렴 나도 따라 산포로 간다고 사랑도 이제 소용없네 산포로 나는 가야지 산포로 산포로 나는 가야지
Uh-oh. Do my eyes deceive me, or did they all just move out of their little 2 foot by 2 foot squares, and they're actually moving around the stage a little bit? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This could be a game changer. First off, let's be honest. Visually, there was nothing happening. Nothing happening. But the song is kicking up. It feels like it's turning up a notch. And I'm seeing the ladies move out of their spots. We may have a game changer here. Let's keep going here.
뽀얀 담배 연기 화려한 차림 속에 거울로 비춰오는 초라한 나의 모습 변화된 생활 속에 나만의 너 잊혀져가고 여린 그의 향기 속에
Wait a second. Wait a second. What?
너 잊혀져가고 여린 그의 향기 속
Heck, that can't be real. That can't be a real thing. Let me get this straight. They hit this nice 4-part harmony. This gorgeous 4-part harmony. They nail it. Again, off a dead stop. Crowd does nothing. She comes up, pulls some confetti out of her pocket, throws it up in the air, and the crowd loses their mind. And they pop for that. They pop for some confetti coming out of the pocket being thrown up in the air.
That's what a pop smells like. Take a bow.
Heaven help this audience. Heaven help this audience if they're confetti cannons. Because if they're gonna pop for a little breeze of confetti coming out of someone's hand, good Lord, they're gonna lose their ever-loving minds. They might have aneurysms. We may have some medical emergencies in that crowd if there are confetti cannons ready to shoot hundreds of pounds of confetti up into the air.
Oh, that's so cool.
Seriously, we're gonna have strokes. We're gonna have heart attacks. We're gonna have aneurysms. We might have just spontaneous heart failure I am the hype. We may have people literally dying in the crowd if they have confetti cannons. If they're gonna lose their minds over that, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand the mentality of how people can lose their minds over that. I don't get it. Here it comes. People lose their minds over that. Three-part harmony, sounding good. Build, build, build. Hey, some crowd interaction. All right. Also, we're changing gears again. Another song. That's what medleys do. You know, they take parts of songs, put them together, make them fit, make them work, and, you know, try to make everybody happy with it. Yeah, I get it. I understand. I'm starting to see why the length of the song is over 11 minutes. If you want to get, like, you know, 4 or 5 pieces of songs into one medley, it's going to be long. There's no getting around that, you know? So I get it. I understand. It is definitely turning up visually. The choreography, okay, if I'm being honest, the choreography that the 4 leads are doing, it's very simple. Very simple. The one in gray, I'm going to be honest with you, she's really, from the look on her face, she's really focusing on her choreography. It's almost like she's, like, trying to remember on the fly. Okay, did we do this? Okay, now we do this. And what are we going to, oh yeah, we go to here. You can see it in her face. She's really focused on nailing her choreography. The other 3 are just like casual, like it's every day. So I don't know what's going on there. But the choreography that they're doing is very simple, very easy. It's nothing all that complex. I've seen far more complicated choreography than that. But having said that, they are moving around the stage. They are creating stage energy. Yes, it's by choreography. So through choreography, by default, you're going to have stage energy. The stage interaction that's happening, again, all choreographed, you can tell. But it's there. It's choreographed, but it is there. I saw some crowd interaction, and it sounded organic. Like, it didn't seem like, I mean, I'm sure it is pre-planned to some extent. Like, okay, here's what it is. At this point, you're going to interact with the crowd. Now, we don't care what you do to interact with the crowd, but interact with the crowd, you know, for these 4 measures. So it's outlined, but it's not all pre-planned out. And not every step, not every word, not every motion of the hand is all planned out. That looked organic when that part was going on. So I was really glad to see that. I don't get the backup dancers. I really don't. I don't think, I'm going to be honest with you folks, I don't think the backup dancers add anything to the overall presentation. I think it's kind of a waste. The 4 leaders are doing just fine on their own. They don't need help. So I don't know about that. The band still sounds nice. I'm going to be honest, and I know this is going to upset people when I say this, but I'm going to say it. The band, the backing band, to me, best part. They're the best part. What they're playing, how they're playing it, it sounds really nice. It's the part that I'm enjoying the most. Don't get me wrong, the ladies are doing a fine job. They sound good. They sing well. They have great vocal ability and great vocal talent, and they're showing it off, okay? I will absolutely give credit where credit's due. Me personally, though, I'm digging the backing band. I really am. Showing some nice ability, nice diversity, great playing with feel, switching gears. I know they probably have charts in front of them. They're just following the charts, but listen, you could put charts in front of one band who really understands how to play this style of music. Take the exact same charts, put them in front of another band that has no idea what this kind of music's about. You're going to hear a difference. What we're hearing is top notch from that backing band. Really nice job. All right, switch gears. Here we go. Hey, they're moving up. Hey! Why not? Camera, good. Got a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to compress it down as much as I can because I know we've already been here for a while and I don't want to keep you guys here for another half hour. So let me do my best to compress everything down as much as I possibly can. Hopefully get all done in 10 minutes. And and I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Mamamoo with Immortal Songs Medley. This was a request from Glenn. All right. Let me just come out and say it. This is not my thing, guys. It's just not my thing. It's not blowing my skirt up. Listen, I understand there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent involved. Okay, I absolutely get that. Okay, and we're gonna talk about that. But if you're gonna ask me, would I ever pay X number of dollars to go see this in person? My answer is gonna be an emphatic no. No. Absolutely not. I would never pay to go and see this. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's $10. I don't care if it's $5. To be honest with you, I don't even know if I would even go see it if it was free. It's not my thing. It's not what I enjoy. It's not what I really dig on. It's not my bag. It doesn't blow my skirt up. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people don't like hearing that about their favorite artists, but it's just not in my wheelhouse, guys. It's not. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I could not wait for this to be over. 11 minutes long. I get it. It's a medley. I understand that. It's 11 minutes long of a medley. And from what I could tell, I think we heard 6 different songs. I think we heard 6 different songs, maybe 7. I'm not 100% sure about the beginning. The beginning was kind of tough to hear if there was any real separation there until the band kicked in. Once the band kicked in, everything was fine, but like the first minute and a half, I don't know if that was 1 song or 2. I really don't know, but I think we had 6, might have had 7, I'm not sure. So I get it. I understand the length of time. I understand. Okay, you don't, when you're making a medley, you don't want to just take 20 or 30 seconds of one song and stick it in there, because you're not really doing that particular song justice. So I get it. You want to give it time. You want to give it time to grow, time to marinate, and you want to give it equal time across the board as much as possible in between each song that's being represented within the medley. I totally understand it. I've been involved in the writing process with a couple of medleys myself, both from a songwriting standpoint or from an arranging standpoint for helping other bands with their medleys, or in the band that I'm currently in, well, not right this very second, but with bands I've been in the past, when we've written medleys for us to play live. I understand that. I absolutely get it. There is a process, and you got to be fair. Otherwise, you're going to get complaints from the audience. Well, how come you only gave, oh God, that one Rush medley we did where we only put, we put, I think, 30 seconds or 40 seconds of Red Barchetta. We wrote a Rush medley, and we only put 30 or 40 seconds of Red Barchetta in the bridge. You know the part I'm talking about? That part. We put that in the medley, and it was only 30 or 40 seconds, and people were pissed because we gave like a minute and 20 to a minute and a half of the other like 6 songs or 5 songs that we did, and people were livid. How come you only gave Red Barchetta this much time? Didn't think it was that big of a deal, but apparently it is. So I understand. You want to make it equal across the board. That's why we have an 11-minute long song. I get it. So I'm not mad about it. But I'm not going to lie, folks. I could not wait for this to be over, because it's just not my thing. Now, having said that, this is where I'm going to really blow some minds. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.6. Yup, 8.6. Believe me, nobody is more surprised by that score than I am. But that is, honest to God, that is the score that I came up with, and it's the score that makes the most sense to me. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.6. What does that mean? Well, an 8.6 would translate to a great scale rating, because overall, I think this was a great presentation. It would get 4 to 5 stars in an A letter grade. So there you go, an 8.6, great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Oh boy. So glad you asked. Okay, there's a number of factors. Number one, let's take this medley, the arrangement, not the songwriting, The when you're making a medley, you're not writing a medley, you're arranging a medley. You're taking parts of songs that have already been written, and you're taking them and you're arranging them in a certain order to make it flow as well as possible, and make it sound as good as possible, and make it as conducive as possible. That's why it's an arrangement. It's not writing, it's arranging. Let's talk about the arrangement of this medley. Nice diversity. It wasn't just the same style of song all the way through all 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parts, how many parts there might be. I have heard medleys that have literally taken 5 songs that all sound the exact same. They cut and paste them, and you can't tell them apart unless you know the songs by heart. Even going as so far as to having all 5 selected songs be in the same key to make it flow and transition as smoothly as possible. Yeah, great, congratulations, you did that, but at the same time, differentiating between the 5 songs is, if you're not like on top of this band, if you don't know this band and you don't know every song by heart, you're not going to be able to differentiate between the 5 songs. You're just not. This arrangement of this medley was really well done, transitioning from each section. They did it smoothly, as smooth as you possibly can. Now, there were a couple of times where they had to come to a dead stop, because if they had tried to just blend that one particular song into the next, it wouldn't have worked out too well. It would have sounded really awkward. By bringing it to a dead stop, giving it a chance to reset itself and then come back in, now, a lot of people are going to say, well, that was awkward in their opinion. And to some extent, they are right. But it was the best way to make it sound as good as possible. So I get it. I absolutely get it. And I understand why they did what they did when it came to the arrangement. That backing band, I'm sorry. I know this is going to probably upset a few people. To me, that backing band was the highlight. Now, listen, I know they're probably sitting there reading charts. I get it. And they're playing the parts that are there written out on paper, or they have those digital pads, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, whatever. But they're literally swiping right, or not swiping right, swiping left, swiping left, swiping left every single time they come to the next page. Swipe left. You know, it's just no difference than turning a page on a score. But that backing band, they knocked this out of the park. Every single time they transitioned to play a new style, they adapted their playing to fit that style of music just beautifully. I was really, really impressed with the backing band. The musicianship, the tastefulness, the ability to blend feels of different styles of songs and make them sound appropriate, the ability to switch to new styles on the fly. I mean, granted, they're charts, but still, you get the chart in front. And I made this comparison before. You can take the exact same charts, put them in front of 2 different bands. One understands each style of music that's being represented. The other one has no clue, but they can read music just fine. You're going to hear a difference. They may play the notes the exact same notes. They may not make any mistakes from a notation standpoint, but how band A makes the song sound compared to how band B tries to make the song sound, 2 completely different things. Okay, I promise you. The band, very talented. I give them all the props, and I'm going to be honest with you, the backing band was one of the main reasons I was able to get through this, because they absolutely grooved, man, especially in those soulful parts. Very soul-esque. I absolutely dug what I heard there. Kind of gave me vibes of You're Still a Young Man from Tower of Power in that one section. One of my absolute favorite ballads of all time. If you've never heard that song, go check it out. Because it is one of my absolute favorite ballads. I know I'm not a ballads guy. I don't really dig on ballads, but I've always said there's about 10 ballads in this world that I actually enjoy. You're Still a Young Man is one of them. You're Still a Young Man by Tower of Power. Check it out. Anyway, let's talk about the ladies. I know that's what everybody wants to hear me talk about. Okay, fine. Let's talk about the ladies. Vocally, super talented. Okay, absolutely super talented. Great range, great pitch, great tone, great delivery, support, power, projection, diction. I have no idea what they're saying, but whatever it is they are saying was very well pronounced. I didn't hear any mumbling. I didn't hear any, as far as being able to understand what they're saying. I may not understand what they're saying, but whatever was saying was very easy to understand for people who speak the language, because they made it very pronounced, and I absolutely dug that. Some amazing singing ability. I saw some great mic awareness when they needed to pull the mics away because they were singing and they didn't want to blow the mic out. They did. From all four ladies, absolutely nice job on that. The harmonizing. Okay, if I'm being honest, the harmonizing from the ladies was probably the most impressive thing about their vocal deliveries. And here's the thing. When they had 2-part harmonies going, it sounded great. It sounded great. When they did the 3-part harmonies, it sounded really great. And when they did the 4-part harmonies, that was impressive, especially when they would do them from a dead stop. No lead in. They just, they all stopped singing and then they all came in immediately on that 4-part harmony. That, folks, I don't care who you are, that is impressive. When you can nail a 4-part harmony off a dead stop like that, that is impressive. You gotta give them their credit for that. Yeah, I mean, I'll just say it. Yeah, vocally they sounded great. They did. Okay, I will absolutely give credit where credit's due. I mean, I'm not always a big fan of stuff like that, but I can see the appeal. I can absolutely see the appeal. Add on to that the live show. Now, let's be honest here, folks. Okay, let's be perfectly honest. The first 2.5, 3 minutes. Let's be honest here. Actually, I think it was longer than that. I think it was more like 3.5 to 4 minutes. Let's be honest. They just stood there. Okay, not really a whole lot to watch. Not really a whole lot to see. Not a whole lot happening on stage as far as creating a great live show. Those first 4 minutes. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just be honest. It was boring. Okay, it was boring to watch. But then when they kicked in and they left their little 2x2 squares and they started doing their choreography. Okay, now listen, it's choreography, okay? It's not organic. It's all choreographed. It's all pre-planned. Everybody hits their marks. Everybody does the moves as planned. Everybody takes their steps as planned. Everybody gets their spots as planned. I get it. I absolutely get it. It still creates a live visual show. It's no different than Baby Metal. It's no different than Lady Baby. It's no different from any of those other bands that, use choreography. It's no different. So let's go down the checklist. Let's see how the live show stacks up. Stage presence, check. Yeah, they got stage presence right from the beginning. Looked like performers, acted like performers. They got it, okay? Stage energy, okay. I'm gonna give it a check with an asterisk. It's choreography, okay? It is choreographed, but it looked good. It was simple, but it was well executed. It was clean. All the ladies moving at the exact same time. All 4 ladies moving the exact same way, the exact same speed, starting their movement at the same time, stopping their movement at the same time, transitioning to the next movement all at the same time. It was clean. It was absolutely clean. I will give credit where credit's due. Stage energy gets a check with an asterisk. Same thing with stage interaction. Every single time the ladies interacted with each other, it was staged. It was planned. It was choreographed. Okay? So it is getting a check with an asterisk. Crowd interaction. This is what actually was probably the biggest surprise to me. I'm going to give it a check with no asterisk, and here's my reason why. I'm sure it was planned that at this point, you're going to go interact with the crowd. You're going to interact with the crowd for these 4 measures, these 8 measures, these 16 measures, these 14 measures, whatever the case may be. But it was organic. They were told, more than likely, what they were told was, you're going to go, you're going to interact with the crowd. We don't care what you do with the crowd. We don't care what you do with the crowd. Just interact with the crowd for these number of measures, 10 measures, 12 measures, whatever the case may be. and make sure you're back on your spot on the downbeat of 1 16 measures later. Okay, so they had some freedom from what I could tell. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe all of that was pre-planned, but it didn't look pre-planned. It looked organic. When they walked down those rampways and they were doing the high fives, maybe they were told to do that, possibly. I don't know. It didn't look planned, though. That looked organic. Every single time they interacted with the crowd. That was just one example. Other times during the course of the show, whenever they would interact with the crowd, get the crowd clapping, I'm sure it was planned as far as it was blocked out. Okay, during this time, you're going to do this. But whatever you do is up to you. That's how it looked to me. So it looked organic. So I'm going to give that one a check with no asterisk. Showmanship. Okay, well, here we go again. It's getting the check, yes, with an asterisk, because the choreography, like I said, for the most part was all planned out. It looked good. It added to the song, absolutely. Production. I'm going to give that a check. Now, I have pluses and minuses on their production. The usage of lighting, the usage of the video screens, the usage of the sparklers at the beginning. I appreciate all of that. It looked good. I will give credit where credit's due on that end of the production. The backing the backing dancers. I'm sorry, I don't see the value there. I really don't. They did not add to the show. I don't think they did. The ladies were doing just fine. They didn't need reinforcements. I don't understand it, because the stage looked full without the backup dancers. When the backup dancers came out, it looked a little crowded on that stage, if I'm being honest. It looked a little, I don't want to say chaotic, but it looked a little bumbled. Not because anybody was making any mistakes, it just looked like it was too much going on there with the backup dancers. They were not needed. The 4 ladies could have done everything just fine on their own. Especially considering the fact that the backup dancers were doing exactly what the ladies were doing. So it didn't make sense. The other thing I laughed about this was the confetti out of the pocket when that one in pink took the confetti out of her pocket and threw it in the air, and the crowd absolutely lost their ever-loving minds. It's a good thing they didn't have confetti cannons. Oh man, could you imagine if they had confetti cannons? The crowd might have imploded. They might have absolutely imploded. I just thought that was funny. It's not a plus or a minus. I just thought that was funny. Overall, though, the production absolutely added to the show. So I'm giving that the check for sure. Taking all these things into account, between the ladies' vocal abilities, the ladies' vocal performance in a live setting, the harmonizations, the arrangement of the medley, the execution of the medley, the backing band, the production, taking everything into account here, this is how I came up with an 8.6. In closing, like I said, would I ever go see this? No, absolutely not. I wouldn't. But I see the appeal. I see how they have a big following, more than likely. They probably do. And I can see why people would pay X number of dollars, however many people would pay. X can be whatever value based on what you value this band to be at. I don't know how much these ladies charge. They may charge $50, they may charge $100. Heck, they may charge $500, and depending on what people are willing to pay, they're gonna get away with it. So it's fine. Get your money while you can, girls. And I'm sure there are people who are willing to pay it and want to pay it. Literally going, take my money. I will buy your entire stock. Okay, fine. Those people want to do that. That's they see the value. They're willing to pay for the value. No problem. Me personally, though, I wouldn't go see them for free. I'm sorry. It's just not my thing. But there's no denying they did a great job. So that's why I'm giving them that 8.6. I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.6, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.